Well, hello all. We're up here in the forest today. Beautiful sunny morning here in San Francisco. About 64 degrees out and warming up. We're going to be warm today. Winter used to be this time of the year. We used to see rain and wind and a lot of wintry type stuff this November, December, but each year we get less and less winter and more fall, or summer as you call it. I mean, this is sort of summerish weather. The sun is just lower, but the temperatures are still in the 60s and 70s. And I don't know if we're ever going to get any rain. We have some rain forecast for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, but I don't know if that'll appear at all or not. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about the corporations here in the world of Earth and how they constantly greenwash people. And greenwashing is the name of the game when it comes to corporations, especially the ones that pollute the worst. Are the worst about greenwashing. They greenwash about everything. And that's what we're going to go talk about, is the greenwashing taking place around the world and the U.S. Okay, let's talk about what I'm talking about. Makes sense, huh? Scientists flag conflicts of interest ahead of UN plastics and chemical talks. An international group of 35 scientists calling out conflicts of interest about global plastic treaty negotiations. Just like big tobacco and big oil, powerful interests use the same playbook to manufacture debate and misinformation about climate change and the problems with plastic. The plastic and chemical industry already have a large history of deploying these tactics to hamper the regulatory efforts. Countries prepare to meet next week for the third UN plastics treaty negotiation. You know, I hate to tell you guys, but that's just a waste of time. You're just putting more pollution into the air flying to these things than they actually accomplish. They just don't accomplish anything because of big corporations and how they manipulate things, and they take part in the treaty itself. The plastics and petroleum industry were involved in the first and second round of negotiations last couple of years. The industry representatives push misleading statements, including the claim that plastic will help fight climate change. Now, how could the fuck they think that plastic pollution fights climate change? And the thing is that people believe this crap. They actually think that the plastics industry, because they say it's climate friendly, that they should go ahead and just keep using plastic. The scientists, for instance, caution against a reliance on mechanical devices to clean water bodies of plastic pollution. There is a clear and present need to tackle the millions tons of waste that have already accumulated in the oceans. What is the treaty for? To eliminate plastic pollution? Well, that's kind of a funny thing to think about, because plastic doesn't just float on top. Morning. Plastic doesn't just float on top of the ocean. It's in all different types of water columns, from the middle to the end, all the way to the bottom of the ocean. Plastic eventually sinks. It doesn't float forever. All the air bubbles in plastic eventually leak, and the water fills in and the plastic sinks. So thinking that there's some boat that can come along and sweep up all the plastic is just ludicrous. It's greenwashing. It's identical to carbon capture. There is no such thing as carbon capture, human carbon capture. There's nowhere to put the carbon that's in the air. And the way you can prove it is just look at the CO2 count on a daily basis, and you will see that carbon is emitted into the air faster and faster each year, and that there's more and more of it each year. So much for carbon capture greenwashing and all the other greenwashing. Don't fall for it. Don't believe in it. It just, the proof is in the pudding. Look at what the numbers tell you, and you'll see that there's no such thing as plastic cleanup through a mechanical machine or carbon capture through human cause. Other than planting trees and shrubs and bushes, there is no such thing as carbon capture, just as there is no such thing as plastic cleanup. It's too little too late, and plastic breaks down into little tiny pieces called microplastic, which can't be cleaned up anyway. So what's the use? The only way you can take care of the plastic problem is eliminate plastic altogether. And these big corporations, the deep state, the corporations, aren't about to allow that to happen. Even though there's plenty of alternatives, such as corn-based plastic, which is not plastic. It does break down and breaks down rapidly and quickly. If you use a biodegradable bag, you'll see what I mean. Sometimes if you leave something in the refrigerator 2 or 3 weeks, the bag will have already started to break down. So, any comments on this? I noticed that my channel is dying very quickly. There's very few people coming anymore. I think that the interest in climate has died away since the hot summer days are now over, and people don't think they have to worry about climate change until next summer. But we need to spread the word that climate change happens all year round and needs to be paid attention to all year round. We can't let these wars interfere with people's sight, and you've got to keep track of what's happening. I appreciate any ups, any new subscribers, and definitely any comments. Haven't seen any for a while. So until next time.